It's been 11 months, 2 days, 22 hours, 7 minutes, and some loose change seconds since I said goodbye to you with a promise to garnish the following season with more tension, more action, and lots more passion than the last season. So here I am, promising to fulfill the promise of promises promised. Welcome along to a sizable and significant day in India's annual corporate quizzing calendar. Welcome to BusinessLine Cerebration 2022, one of India's premier corporate quiz championship in its 19th edition overall, but its very first hybrid edition. And I am Quizmaster Ajay Punya, bringing this quiz to you virtually. In its preliminary rounds that lasted 10 days, over 6,000 corporate executives, business professionals, B-school students, and MBA aspirants participated from all across the country. We've gathered here today in our third week of competition, in our first of 6 regional rounds for participants from the Chennai region. We've managed to find this extraordinary bunch not through a lucky draw, but instead they managed to find themselves in this competition on the back of devotion to hard work, desire to prove their worth, and most importantly, commitment to their love of quizzing. And that puts them in a sweet, sweet spot to lay their hands on the most coveted intellectual title and take home prize money worth rupees 1.5 lakhs. There's first prize of rupees 75,000, second prize of rupees 50,000, and third prize of rupees 25,000. As exciting as that sounds, truth is the path to becoming regional winner is not going to be a cakewalk. Each one of you has to fend off 5 other equally smart participants today. And when you do that, 5 other regional winners will be waiting to give you an even tougher fight at the national final in Mumbai. But, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Playing as participant number 1 is first runner-up last year, looking to go one better this time, is Jayakanthan from TCS. Regional finalist last year from Mumbai as a student, but this year he's in Chennai as a corporate participant, is Preetham Upadhya from Barclays. Second runner-up in the Chennai regional final last year, but the first runner-up isn't here, so that should offer him some respite, is Ramesh Natarajan from Freshworks. And now on to some new faces. As much as we love the usual suspects, always nice to welcome some new challengers coming in without the burden of external expectations. Participant number 4 is Arun Kandikonda from Bharat Petroleum. As participant 5 is Karthik Ramadas from Cholamandalam Investment and Finance Company Limited. And finally, the only student represent amongst the finalists competing the lineup is Swagato Mukherjee from Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. Right, that's the 6-member strong lineup in Chennai regional round. After the end of 4 rounds of quizzing, there will only be one of you who will receive the ticket to Mumbai for the national final. But before we get into some high intensity quizzing, it would be nice to hear some words of encouragement from Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan, editor of BusinessLine. Sir, please.
Hello, everyone. BusinessLine is back with the 19th edition of Cerebration Quiz, one of India's biggest corporate quiz championships. After the overwhelming response we got last year, this year has been even better. And we got excellent entries across our major cities. BusinessLine, as you know, is India's leading financial newspaper. It's known for its depth and its intellectual sharpness, which is reflected in the Cerebration Quiz. The Cerebration Quiz is open to business professionals, corporate executives, MBA aspirants, and students from India's top-notch B schools. The prelims received an overwhelming response of more than 6,000 participants taking the quiz, and out of which 6 individuals from each city of Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kochi, Mumbai, and New Delhi will now battle it out to qualify for the grand finale. The top 6 contestants from each city will compete in the virtual regional finals from July 31 to August 15th. Winners of the regional finals from 6 cities will battle it out for the coveted title at a in-person, on-ground event in Mumbai. The winners will take home handsome prize money worth up to 1.5 lakhs. And apart from, of course, the recognition of being Cerebration winners of the BusinessLine quiz. I wish you all the very best and look forward to seeing the participants in the rounds that happens in the cities. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. This is the time when we appreciate the faith instilled by our partners who helped us put together BusinessLine Cerebration 2022. The title sponsor, Union Bank of India, powered by Manage Engine, writing instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group, and associate sponsor, Gray On. Thank you all. And now I would request Sri R. Vishweshwaran, General Manager, Union Bank of India, to take the stage and address our participants.
Good morning. Union Bank of India is extremely proud to sponsor this event, and I'm delighted and I'm feeling privileged to address this event. My best wishes to all the 6 semi-final participants of Chennai round, and I heard 6,000 participants are competing for this coveted title, and you are one among the 1,000 minds. Huge credit goes to Hindu BusinessLine for keeping the tradition of quiz going on, and it is an honor for Union Bank of India to be associated with this quiz event for the past many years. We at Union Bank of India want to promote the quest and zeal among the young minds of the country. Young minds like you are reshaping India in all their respective fields, and you are in the real quest of knowledge which will transform our country in the coming days. All the best for today's participants who have participated in these events despite their jobs and studies, and my special best wishes to the winners who will be participating in the finals. Once again, I thank everyone present here for disseminating the quest of the knowledge to the world. Best wishes from Union Bank of India.
Thank you, sir. All right, then, participants, just another day, just another quiz, right? Right, so let's cut to the chase and pick action with our first of 4 rounds, shall we? Yes, we shall. All right, round number 1 is called serious or joking. We'll start our first statement, our first of 5 statements. Good luck, everyone. Try to accumulate as many points as you can. Here's the first statement, first round at the Chennai regional final on your screen now. Been in business since 1908. This is the sandwich cookie brand Oreo. Been in business since 1908. This is the sandwich cookie brand Oreo. All right, the time is up. First on the buzzer. In fact, there's 1, 4, 3, 5, and 2. So except 6, which is Swagato, everybody else has pressed the buzzer. So I will ask Jayakanthan, who's first on the buzzer, why did he do that?
I think this is false. You're joking. It's the brand Hydrox.
Okay, so you don't think this is Oreo, but this is Hydrox.
Yeah.
That is indeed correct. That's the answer. That's well done. Good answer there, Jayakanthan. It is incidentally not Oreo, but it's Hydrox. Hydrox by Sunshine. Oreo was actually created in response to Hydrox by Nabisco, but this was Hydrox, not Oreo. So well done to all 5 of you. So except Swagato from as participant 6, except Swagato, everybody else scores points. Everybody else gets 5. But Jayakanthan, for also giving me correct reasoning, gets a bonus 5 on top of that. So Jayakanthan gets 10. Everybody else 2, 3, 4, and 5. The rest of you get 5 points each. Let's move on to our number 2 statement. On 19th July 1969, as the Apollo 11 crew entered lunar orbit, India was busy dabbling in a historic event of its own, setting the wheels in motion to nationalize the life insurance industry. 10 seconds within which you should hit the buzzer only if you think that the statement is a joke. Right, time's up. We have participants 2, 3, 5, and 4 hitting the buzzer. 1 and 6 have not hit the buzzer. So first on the buzzer is Preetham from Barclays. Preetham, why?
So it's false because India nationalized the banking industry in 1969, not life insurance.
Banking industry and not the life insurance industry. That's your answer, Preetham. That is indeed correct. That's well done, because it was about the nationalization of 14 commercial banks. Life insurance industry was also nationalized, but it was nationalized 13 years prior to that in 1956. So well done, all 4 of you. Preetham, Ramesh, Karthik, and Arun, all 4 of you get 6 points each. But Preetham, on top of the 6, you get a +5. So 11 points to Preetham, 6 to Ramesh, 6 to Karthik, and 6 to Arun. This question was brought to you by our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. Well done, all of you. All 4 of you, in fact, who got this one correct. Let's move on. Number 3 coming up now. The founder of Max Factor was a Polish-American businessman, Maximilian Faktorowicz, who founded it in 1909 and popularized the term makeup in noun form based on the verb. Only press the buzzer if you think the statement is a joke. You have 3 seconds. And that's about it. Looks like nobody's pressed the buzzer, and quite rightly so, because that was indeed true. So it was, he shortened his name for the sake of the company, right? Maximilian Faktorowicz became Max Factor. This question was brought to you by our associate sponsor, Grey On. Well done, everybody, for getting it right, not being tempted to hit the buzzer because you shouldn't have, and well done on not hitting the buzzer. So nobody gets any negatives, but nobody gets any positives because everybody gave the right answer to this question. We'll now move on to our next question, number 4, our next statement, in fact. This is a British multinational oil and natural gas company headquartered in London. Apart from being standout colors, these colors were chosen because they match the colors of the flag of Spain. Please hit the buzzer if you think that the statement is a joke. All right, time's up. We have 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 2. So everybody's hit the buzzer. All right, last time nobody hit the buzzer. This time everybody hit the buzzer. I'll ask Jayakanthan, why did you do that? Why do you think this is a joke?
I think you're joking. The colors are of some other country.
Some other country. Do you want to take a name?
I'll say.
Okay, I'll move on. Let it be. Moving on to Ramesh.
So it is, you're joking, of course, and the colors are that of I'll say Portugal.
Portugal. Okay, that's not correct. I will have to move on to the next participant. That's Karthik from Cholamandalam.
I think the false part is that it's the British Dutch multinational oil giant Shell.
So you wanted to change it to Dutch and
yeah.
not British. Okay. All right. So those were the 3 reasons, only 3 to be allowed to give the answer to this question. I'm afraid neither one of you got the reason correct. And that's because the statement was true. Right? That's because the statement was true. Incidentally, on the last question, everybody refrained from pressing the buzzer and everybody was right. This time, everybody pressed the buzzer and everybody was wrong. All right. So again, no points to anyone. But I'll tell you why this is true, because the colors first appeared with the construction of Shell's first service stations in California. And not only did red and yellow actually help shell stand out, but they're also the colors of Spain, where many early Californian settlers were born. And so, which is why it was, displaying Spanish colors in the logo was, a tribute, hoping for an emotional bond that would be created. So that's the reason why. Quite funny the way the last two statements turned out. Everybody refraining from pressing the buzzer, nobody scoring points. Everybody pressing the buzzer, nobody scoring the points. Anyway, final one now. Final statement, common to everyone. In the list of top 10 richest men in the world are 7 Americans, 2 Indians, woohoo, and 1 European. The sole European is Spain's Amancio Ortega of Zara. Right, the time's up, and 625413. Again, everybody's pressed the buzzer. Everybody thinks this is a false statement, but I'll have to ask Swagato, who's the first on the buzzer. Why did you press the buzzer?
Yeah, sorry. I think you're joking because the other European is the founder of LMVH, Bernard Arnold.
And not Amancio Ortega. That's your answer.
No, he is not the sole European. The other one is Bernard Arnold, the founder of LMVH.
Oh, so you're saying there are 2 Europeans. Okay, so then is there 1 Indian, 6 Americans?
6 Americans.
6 Americans, all right. Okay, so your answer is that there are 6 Americans and 2 Europeans, and the other one is?
2 Indians.
No, who's the other European? You said 2 Europeans.
Founder of LMVH, Bernard Arnold.
Okay, that's not correct. I'll move on to our next participant. That's Preetham.
Yeah, so then the breakup is correct. 7 Americans, 2 Indians, 1 European. I'd say the only European is Bernard Arnold of LVMH and not Ortega.
So I should just change Amancio Ortega to Bernard Arnold.
Bernard.
That is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Well done there, Preetham. Whether you took a little bit of help from Swagato's answer is not something that I'm interested in knowing. So we'll let it be. All right. But Swagato, the breakup was correct. I also told you that, there won't be multiple things wrong about the statement. It will only be one thing that's likely to be wrong about the statement, and you kept changing multiple things. So that wasn't the right answer. The correct answer is it's not Spain's Amancio Ortega. I thought of taking a follow-up with that Spain answer on the last one, but this is the French gentleman, Bernard Arnault, who's about $100 billion or so richer than Amancio Ortega. So because everybody pressed the buzzer, so everybody was right about that. So no points for that, but 5 points to Preetham for giving me the correct answer, and nobody else gets any points for this one. Well, that's the end of round 1. Decently high scoring one at that. We will take a look at the scores and continue with the second and the third round. But before that, we'll take a look at the scoreboard. That's on the other side of this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the scores after the end of round 1. As you can see, it's a closely bunched group. But we do have one leader, and that's Preetham from Barclays, currently leading with a score of 21. Then we have 3 participants, Ramesh from Freshworks, Arun from BPCL, and Karthik from Cholamandalam, all 3 of them at 11. Then is Jayakanthan from TCS at 10, and Swagato, who's still to open his account, but he will in due course of time. For the moment, we will continue with our second round, which is where we headed, round 2. Right, so this round is called paired impaired. Each participant gets a question for 15 seconds. Preetham, if you can unmute yourself. This is your direct question, Preetham. Others, you have time to hit the buzzer, which is 15 seconds after I'm done reading the question. Here's my question. While the company's story is mostly associated with the person on the left, who had a contentious relationship with the eponymous founding brothers, however, it was the person on the right who was the company's president in the 50s and 60s who created a lucrative model wherein they would buy real estate and lease it to franchisees at a 40% markup. My question is, which company? Preetham?
Do I have to answer within 15 seconds?
You can, yeah, you have to give me an answer.
Hello?
Yes, please give me an answer.
McDonald's.
All right. McDonald's, Ramesh, do you
McDonald's,
accept
McDonald's.
or do you reject?
I accept the answer that people.
Why do you accept? Who do you think these people are?
You asking me or people?
Oh, anyone can answer.
Yes, Ray Kroc, the other is
The other is? Preetham, who's the other guy?
I'm not sure. I just.
All right, that's all right. That wasn't needed for scoring points. It is indeed McDonald's. That's well done. Good answer there, Preetham. That gets you 10 points for giving me the right answer. And Ramesh, well done on accepting that answer. That's 5 points to you. So that was indeed, on the left was indeed Ray Kroc. And on the right was Harry Sonneborn, who actually created the real estate model that McDonald's likes to identify themselves with. Right, well done, both of you. That's 10 to Preetham, 5 to Ramesh. This question was brought to you by our writing instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group. All right, next question will be a direct to Ramesh and Preetham. You're the paired participants, so listen to his answer, accept, reject, or pass accordingly. Ramesh, you don't have to give me an answer. If you're not sure of the answer, you can pass the question as well. You don't get negatives. Okay, here's my question, others on the buzzer. A phrase that one may encounter in various most annoying business jargons lists means a crisis that is natural or engineered to force change. It originated from a 1980s incident off the coast of Scotland, which you see here in the picture. This is a documentary based on the incident, where the victims faced a dilemma of jumping into hot oil or just blaze as they were. It was also the name of an internal memo by a doomed CEO of Nokia, which was leaked to the press. What term is this? Five seconds, Ramesh.
Okay, I'll answer this. I'll say scorched earth policy.
Scorched earth. Okay, passes to Preetham. Preetham, accept, reject, pass.
So if I reject it, I have to give an answer myself, right?
I mean, if you're rejecting it, but you don't have an answer of your own, you might as well say pass, no?
Yeah, I'll pass it.
Yeah, you'll pass it, okay? And you will do well by passing it because that was incorrect. So that's a negative to Ramesh. Question passes on the buzzer to Jayakanthan.
This was something like burning platform.
This is something like burning platform. But what is it then?
The CEO of Nokia, the memo was called "Our platform is burning," something like that. As in, it basically talks about how their Nokia platform itself is doomed, and they have to. It's some variant of burning platform.
Okay.
Burning
I will give that to you. There is no variant or anything like that. It is burning platform itself, right? So that's well done, Jayakanthan. That's +5 to you on the buzzer. A -5 to Ramesh for giving me a wrong answer, and well done, Preetham, for not answering or not taking a chance with that. So that is correct. This is burning platform. The Nokia CEO in question was Stephen Elop, who was basically leading them around the time of Lumia and Nokia having tougher days. And in fact, the documentary was, I think, sometime around 2012 or 13 about the Piper Alpha oil platform in the North Sea, close to Aberdeen in Scotland. Right, good answer. Jayakanthan gets 5. Ramesh gets a -5. We move on to our second pair, that is Arun and Karthik. So Arun, this is your direct question. Karthik, you're the paired participant. I'll request Arun and Karthik to both unmute themselves and others to be on the buzzer. Arun, here's your question. The geometry of the grill mesh of this car is inspired by certain kinds of architectural marvels in the subcontinent, which can be traced as far back as the Indus Valley civilization. Varieties of it can be seen in an Indian currency note and also in a Nolan film. What are they? Five seconds, Arun.
I will pass.
Passing. Karthik, do you have an answer of your own? Plus 10, minus 5?
Pass.
Passing. All right. Passes to Jayakanthan for plus 5, minus 5.
Yeah, I'll guess these are the step wells, Indian step wells, Rani Ki Vav and all that.
And what banknote are we talking about?
I'm not sure about it. One of the currency notes has a depiction of that.
And what Nolan film is it?
Nolan film is Dark Knight Rises, I guess, where they have the step well.
All right. In UPI days, nobody remembers cash anymore. But this is the 100 rupee note. It is the Stepwells or the Bowdies. Good answer there by Jayakanthan. That's 5 points to you. And of course, it was the Dark Knight Rises film. So we just go back to the visual. So you can see the grill mesh being inspired by the Bowdies of various parts of India. All right. So one of them represented in the Indian currency note. Good answer. Jayakanthan gets 5 again. Nothing to Arun, nothing to Karthik. But Karthik and Arun, Karthik, this time you'll get a direct question. And Arun, you are the paired participant. All right. So you have to accept or reject or pass whatever he says. Others on the buzzer. Karthik, here is your direct question. I would request you to be a little upright when you're sitting, Karthik. Please allow us to see your hands as well in the process. Okay, because this is your direct question. Here's my question. Completed in 2020, on the left is a tower in Guangzhou, in the middle is in Jiangsu, on the right is in Zhongshan, all in China. So please forgive my pronunciation. The towers are owned by rival brands and are amongst the tallest 3 towers for a specific purpose. The tallest, however, for the same purpose is an underground facility that's 300 meters deep. My question is, what purpose? What is the purpose of these towers? Karthik, 5 seconds.
I pass.
Passing. Arun, you have an answer of your own, plus 10,
Yeah,
minus 5?
I'll answer.
Sure.
Actually, these are testing towers for elevators. These are basically elevator manufacturing companies, and these are the testing towers for them.
Do you want to take a guess what companies are these?
I think I want to say ThyssenKrupp, but I don't know if that would be right.
I don't know if they'll be in China. All right. But that is correct. That wasn't needed. The only part that was needed was the purpose. That is indeed the right answer. These are all elevator testing shafts. The tallest is Hitachi, then is Scani, and then is PK Elevators. So those were the 3 in order. Good answer there, Arun. Well done. Plus 10 to you for giving me the right answer to this question. And this question was brought to you by our partner, Manage Engine. Right. Well done there. Arun gets a plus 10. That brings us to the end of the second pair. We move on to our third pair. That's Jayakanthan and Swagato. Jayakanthan, the next question will be your direct, so you can put the phone down. And Swagato, you are the paired participant. So listen to Jayakanthan's answer and accordingly decide whether you want to accept, reject, or pass. Here's my question, Jayakanthan, if you can please unmute yourself. All right, here's my question for you, Jayakanthan. In the 1890s, a French army officer secured a prize offered by a French newspaper for finding the best solution to carry people easily. In 1903, a patent was submitted in England. Soon after, it appeared in a cartoon in a local newspaper. The luxury car maker Jaguar was originally founded as a manufacturer of it in 1922. Armies also found it extremely useful and used them during the world wars. What product is this?
I'll say these are the my answer, right?
Yes.
These are the sidecars.
These are sidecars. All right. Swagato, accept, reject, pass.
Accept.
Accept. These are the sidecars. Indeed, that is correct. These are indeed the sidecars made popular in India, specifically from the film Sholay. That's well done to Jayakanthan. 10 points to you on the direct. And well done to Swagato, registering your presence on the scoreboard. That's 5 points to you for accepting that answer. And because the fact that it was correct, you get 5 points as a result. So 10 to Jayakanthan, 5 to Swagato. Final question of this round will be to Swagato. Swagato, if you're ready. Yeah.
Yes.
And Jayakanthan, you have to listen to his answer and accordingly decide what you want to do. Here's my question. Others on the buzzer. Clay Shirky, an American university professor and writer, around the turn of the century, when the likes of Compaq and IBM were trying their hands at it, alongside eventual dot-com bubble victims like Pay2C, Millicent, First Virtual, DigiCash, etc., unleashed a hard-hitting essay, The Case Against Blank. An excerpt: Blank has not failed because of poor implementation. They have failed because they are bad idea. Furthermore, since their weakness is systemic, they will continue to fail in the future. What was he talking about? An idea that has seen a resurgence thanks to Bitcoin. Five seconds.
I'll pass.
Pass also. Okay, you're passing. Jayakanthan, do you have an answer?
Micro payments, which are small payments which are made for various small digital products, micro payments.
Micropayments, the case against micropayments. Micropayments has not failed because of poor implementation and so on. Jayakanthan, that is indeed correct. That's well done. It is indeed micropayments. It's well done. Jayakanthan gets a 10er as a result, and Swagato, you don't get anything. Arun was interested on the buzzer, but Jayakanthan wasn't letting it pass through him. That's very good. So 10 points there to Jayakanthan. That brings us to the end of the second round as well. And so that brought something to cheer for all our participants. I think almost all of you scored some points there, but that will be all for round two. Quickly, we'll march on to round three now. And after that, we'll take a look at the scores. Let's move on. Round number three. This round is called Challengers Deep. There's one question to each participant. Here's my question. Good luck, everyone. If you analyze the four major stock indexes over 30 plus years, namely FTSE 100, MSCI World, S&P 500, and Eurostoxx 50, it was the month of December that showed 79% frequency of growth. So essentially December being the best month for appreciation. Which month is number 2 in the list with 74.3% since investors received their tax refunds in this month and are thus flush with cash? That's one part of the question. The second part of the question is, the worst month is June with 36% likely because traders go on a summer break, thus giving rise to what 6-word rhyming phrase that also includes a month? That's my question. So 2-part question, which month is second best in terms of appreciation? And what phrase comes from the fact that the worst month is June because traders go on a summer break? Right, Jayakanthan, as it turns out, there's nobody on the buzzer, nobody presenting a challenge, so you can give an answer without the fear of negatives. Question still remains open on the buzzer for +5, -5, but after Jayakanthan answers.
So I'll say the month is number 2 is April.
Okay.
And worst month.
Tell me the phrase.
Phrase is. So sorry, do I get a negative if I attempt to give the wrong answer?
No negative.
Okay.
Please give me an answer now.
Go for summer, else it's a bummer.
Nice one. I'm glad. I mean, with due respect and in all honesty, I'm glad you picked quizzing as a pastime for yourself and not really poetry. But that's well done. Don't go away in summer, otherwise it's a bummer. Anyway, you got part of the answer correct though, Jayakanthan. It is indeed April. That's when you receive your tax refunds and are thus flush with cash, and so you invested in stock market and you happen to see a significant appreciation, about 74%. But like I said, the 6-word rhyming phrase that also included a month is May, and so the phrase is sell in May and go away. Right, so sell in May and go away, and then because you're away in June, nobody is really investing anything, so June happens to be the worst month, right? So that's the entire answer that I was looking for, April and sell in May and go away. This question was brought to you by our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. So next question will be to Preetham. Preetham, if you can unmute. Others on the buzzer, here's my question. Kasuga Radio was established 75 years ago in Nagano. The name of their current 7-letter name comes from combining 2 words, a 3-letter word common in Japan and already popular in the US because of a line of products that you see in the picture sold by Sears, and a 4-letter word to indicate durability of products derived from the American film industry. Name the 2 brands. Don't answer right now, Preetham. Just wait for 7 seconds. Think about it. All right, the time's up. Nobody presenting a challenge. Preetham, you can give an answer without the fear of negatives. Question still open on the buzzer, but this time for +5 marks.
So the 3-letter word is Ken and 4-letter is Wood from Hollywood. So Kenwood.
I'm looking for 2 brands. You can do the calculation in your head, but you tell me the 2 brands.
Ken and Hollywood.
Ken and
Hollywood. Wood from
Ken
Hollywood.
and Hollywood. Those are the 2 brands. Okay, I'm afraid that's not correct, but you don't lose any points, Preetham.
Wood.
Sorry, what? Are you saying something? No, right? Okay, those weren't the 2 brands that you
No,
were saying.
I was saying Wood from Hollywood.
I'm looking for 2 brands. That's what you have to answer. What are your 2 brands?
Ken, and if you want a 4-letter word, it's a Wood from Hollywood.
I'm looking for 2 brands. You do the calculation in your head. What are the 2 brands, Preetham?
Is the second brand a 4-letter word or is it a bigger thing? If it's a bigger thing, I'll say Hollywood. Otherwise, I'll say it's Wood.
Okay. No, that's not correct. Question passes to Jayakanthan. What are the 2 brands for +5, -5?
I'll say Kenstar and Hollywood.
Is incorrect. So that's a -5, Jayakanthan. There's nobody else on the buzzer. You kind of were in the vicinity, both of you. But like I said, I was looking for the 2 brands. The 2 brands in question are Kenwood and Kenmore, right? Kenmore by Sears, and Kenwood is how the name, I gave a description of how the name Kenwood was arrived at, right? This is Kenmore and Kenwood. There's no negative to Preetham, but a -5 to Jayakanthan for being brave about it, but unfortunately not quite getting it right. Next question will be a direct to Ramesh. Others on the buzzer. Ramesh, if you're ready. Here's my question. Grant Liberty, a British human rights organization, released a report last year about a country's 5-year, $1.5 billion diversionary tactic. The biggest chunk, the report claimed, went to Formula One with about 600 million, including hosting a race for the first time in 2021. Football, 174 million, including Messi becoming the face of the country's tourism, and boxing, 107 million, including Joshua versus Ruiz Jr. Which country is the first part, and what program or term, a term that is whose first generally cited example was the 1936 Olympics in Berlin? Ramesh, there's a challenge coming from Preetham. Do you accept the challenge, reject the challenge? What will you do? 2-part question, country, and what's the term called?
I'll choose to answer.
All right. So you are accepting the challenge and you are answering for +10, -5.
Correct. So I'll guess that the country is Saudi Arabia and the term is sports washing.
The country is Saudi Arabia and the term is sports washing. That is absolutely perfect. That's the answer. That's well done, Ramesh. On the direct, you were presented a challenge and you were up to the challenge. That's very good. That gets you 10 points as a result. Good answer there. Fortunately, doesn't pass to Preetham, who was interested in challenging him. I will move on to our next question. That's number 4 for Arun from BPCL. Arun? Okay, Arun, here's my question. Others on the buzzer. Although it is a generic term used for a meeting, the intention behind the shape of the object in the term is to indicate an equal opportunity for all participants. Having its origin in King Arthur's legend about how knights would seat themselves, what term is this? That's one part. And in the subcontinent, one found the usage of the term in 3 consecutive years pre-independence, not exactly in pre-independence years, not 44, 45, 46, but sometime pre-independence. Following a report by a committee chaired by this person you see in the visual, which committee? So those are your 2 parts, and you have a challenge coming from Jayakanthan.
I have to answer both the parts if I
Yes. No part points.
Then I'll let Jayakanthan answer.
All right. So he's rejecting the challenge. Jayakanthan, what's your answer?
I'll guess round robin, and I guess this was a Simon Commission.
Round robin and Simon Commission. I'm afraid that is incorrect. That's a -5. Question goes back to Arun for +5 and no negatives.
So I'll say this is a round table and Simon Commission.
Is correct. Not round robin, but round table. The round table conferences and Simon Commission. Arun, why did you let it go in the first time?
I was not getting Simon Commission, and
well, you can say thank you to Jayakanthan for that.
Yes, thanks for that, Jack.
Okay, so this was round table conferences and Simon Commission. That was John Alsbrook Simon, after whom the Simon Commission was named. Well done, Arun. Well, sometimes, it's just how luck works. Good answer. 5 points, Arun. -5, Jayakanthan. We'll move on to our next question. That'll be a direct for Karthik. Karthik, if you're ready. Okay, here's my question. In 2009, a blogger visited an Italian museum where he found this artwork titled 2 Characters, 1934. He instantly likened it to a GUI program by a company in one of whose iconic ads the artist appeared as well. My question is, which program and which artist created 2 characters? You have a challenge coming from Jayakanthan. What do you want to do, Karthik?
I would like to answer it myself.
All right, for +10, -5, Karthik.
Yeah, the artist I think is Pablo Picasso, and I think the company is Apple, in whose ad Picasso appeared.
I'm looking for a program, a GUI program by a company.
Will be Mac.
The program is Mac. Okay, and the artist is?
Pablo Picasso.
Pablo Picasso. I'm afraid that's incorrect, Karthik. That's a -5. Question passes to Jayakanthan for +10, -5.
I'll say this is Mac OS and Picasso.
Mac OS and Picasso. No, that's not the program. That's the same thing that Karthik said. So that's a -5. Jayakanthan. Question passes to Ramesh for +5, -5.
Okay. I thought the same as well. I think this is the logo of the Mac OS and the icon that is used, right? So that looks very much like Picasso or Picasso. The artist is Picasso.
You're all saying the same thing. I've already given negatives for that, so I'll have to give you negative, Ramesh.
No, I had the same answer, so I didn't have anything completely left.
I'll have to improve upon that if you want to still think in the same line. Now to the final attempt on the buzzer, and that's to Preetham.
I'll say Mac Finder and Picasso.
Is correct. It's the Finder that I was looking for. This is the Mac OS Finder and Picasso. I mean, all of you got the company right. All of you got the artist right. But I was looking for the program specifically, and that's the Mac OS Finder, right? So -5 to Karthik, -5 to Jayakanthan, -5 to Ramesh. Ouch. But a +5 to Preetham for that one. And that question was brought to you by our sponsor, Manage Engine. Right. One more question to go before we end this round, and that is for Swagato. It took half a decade of negotiations, 20 debates in Parliament, and a monumental public relations campaign. And in May 1990, this American company made its way to India. But the entry was only possible with a joint venture that included Punjab Agro and Voltas. Their first Indian product was to be called ERA, but a law forbade foreign names for Indian products. So as a compromise, what name did they use that brought them a wave of success? 2-part question. Tell me which company coming to India and what name did they use that brought them a wave of success? You have a challenge coming from Jayakanthan. Swagato, take a decision.
I'll pass and I'll let him answer.
Okay, Jayakanthan, he's rejecting the challenge. What is your answer?
I think this is Pepsi and Leher.
Pepsi and Leher. So Pepsi being the American company coming to India, bringing them a Leher or a wave of success is indeed Leher Pepsi. Absolutely. That's the answer. That's well done. 10 points there, Jayakanthan. You lost 5 on the last question. This time you got a 10. Very good answer. And, it came to India with Pepsi Foods International alongside a joint venture, which included Punjab Agro and Voltas. Well, that brings us to the end of round 3. It seems to me this is shaping up to be a final round thriller. But you don't have to take my word for it. We will see it on the scoreboard, but that's on the other side of this break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Like I said, it is shaping up to be a final round thriller, and you can see that on the scoreboard. At this point, it's Preetham Upadhya from Barclays who's leading with a score of 36, but his lead is very, very slender because breathing down his neck right behind him, just by a matter of 1 point, is Jayakanthan from TCS with a score of 35. Following them is Arun from BPCL at 26. Then is Ramesh from Freshworks at 16. Karthik from Cholamandalam is at 6 and Swagato currently at 5. Right, so just a small matter of 10 points that separates the top 3, and that perhaps can be achieved in just one question, in one answer itself. So it's very, very close as we move on to our final round now. Right, this round is called Shootout. There'll be 6 questions on the buzzer. There's 10 seconds that you have per question. All right, good luck, everyone. Here's my first question. How exactly do companies attain this status is ill-defined, but refers to firms stumbling along. All right, we already have Jayakanthan from TCS on the buzzer.
I'll say zombie.
You'll say zombie. I'll complete my question. How exactly do companies attain this status is ill-defined, but refers to firms stumbling along, just covering operating expenses, but soulless as far as profitability and productivity are concerned. First seen during the lost decade of Japan in the 1990s, a recent Morgan Stanley research classifies 16% of American firms in the category. What am I describing? I am indeed describing zombie firms. That's well done, Jayakanthan. Now moving into the lead. We're at 35. Preetham was at 36. Jayakanthan moves ahead with a +4 and moves on to 39. Provisional lead there. Zombie firms. That's very good. We'll move on to our next question. Number 2 now, again for 4 points and -5 for a wrong answer. This is a screen grab from Manto, a 2018 film. And the setting is shown on the buzzer is Ramesh from Freshworks.
I'll guess MDH.
You will guess MDH. I will complete my question. And the setting is shown to be of Lahore. The shop whose name is blanked out may or may not have actually existed in Lahore then, but is a huge name now. It was founded in 1919 in Sialkot, but in post-partition India, the founder's son had to take up odd jobs such as riding a tonga before reviving the business in Delhi. What was the name of this store? Your answer is MDH. The answer that I was looking for is also MDH. This is indeed Mahashya the Hatti. Absolutely, as you can see in the screen grab from the film. Good answer there by Ramesh. That gets you 4 points. Very good. Now we move on to slightly more difficult questions or medium difficulty questions. 7 points for a correct answer, -5 for a wrong answer. In this round, we've had Jayakanthan already getting a 4, and that was followed by Ramesh getting a 4. Let's see who gets the first of the 2 sevens. Here's my question. As per Ministry of Statistics, MOSPI's recently released Migration in India 2020-2021 report that contains estimates of indicators related to migration and temporary visitors. What was the prime reason behind migration for more than 71% of the migrants with 86% of females and only 6% of males. But overall, 71% of the migrants do this for what reason? On the buzzer is Preetham from Barclays.
So I'll say this is essentially after they get married, they move to their husbands or in-laws place.
All right. So after marriage is when most of the migration takes place. That is indeed correct, Preetham. That's well done. Back into the lead is Preetham. He was challenged for that position by Jayakanthan for a brief while, but Preetham decided that he's not having it and he came back into the lead. But we're not done yet. We still have 3 more questions to go. Here is my 4th question, also for 7 points. In 2018, researchers from Max Planck Institute, Germany, presented a paper on emotionally supporting humans through robot blank. This year, a paper was accepted by ACM that outlined 11 commandments that robots can follow while performing. On the buzzer is Preetham again. Preetham, I need an answer.
Is he stuck?
Yeah, he's stuck. 3 seconds, Preetham. Okay, I will move on. I'm not giving Preetham a negative, but I'll complete. This year, a paper was accepted by ACM that outlined 11 commandments that robots can follow while performing a certain action that humans can appreciate and enjoy. What social experience have these papers been about? Preetham, are you back? No. Okay, question still open on the buzzer if anybody is interested. All right, we have Karthik from Cholamandalam who's interested. Yes, Karthik.
This is playing music or playing a symphony.
Playing music. I'm afraid that's not correct. That's a -5 there to Karthik. And there's nobody else on the buzzer. So I'll have to close this. The right answer that I was looking for. Does anybody want to take a guess without negatives, just non-count?
Companionship of some kind.
Work on that.
Basically, elders and attending to them, providing friendship.
Work on that. I'm looking for one action. A certain social interaction, social experience action. Tell me the action.
Is it something like kissing?
Kissing. Okay. You've gone a little too ahead. Come back.
Hugs. Maybe.
Is correct. That's the answer. So this is hugging. So there are 11 commandments of hugging for robots. Right. So that's what it was about. We'll wait a little. We'll see if Preetham is coming back. I'd request the console to just check with him. Just give him a while. Question number 5 now for +10 and -5. In his essay, What is Blank? Jacob Horn of Zora, a NFT company, offers a definition. Hypermedia is a non-linear medium of information that includes graphics, audio, video, plain text, and hyperlinks. Blank, on the other hand, is a medium for anyone on the internet to create universally accessible and individually ownable hypermedia. Blank can be thought of as hypermedia with built-in property rights. Please fill in the blank for me. Is hypermedia with built-in property rights. Right, we do have Preetham who's on the buzzer for +10, -5. Preetham.
I'll say this is crypto media, so crypto plus hypermedia, right? Like cryptocurrency or crypto plus hypermedia.
And so your answer is?
Crypto media.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is indeed crypto media. Absolutely. That's very well done, Preetham. So this is hypermedia alongside built-in property rights gets you crypto media. That's very good. That's 10 points there to Preetham. And to our final question, here's number 6. What first am I talking about? Globally, in the 1950s, Uruguay's Pinarol In Europe and Germany, 1973, Eintracht Braunschweig. In England, on the buzzer is Ramesh from Freshworks. Yes, Ramesh.
I'll go for shirt sponsorships, so logos of brands on their shirt jerseys.
Shirt sponsorships, logos or brands. In England, Kettering Town in 1976. In Italy in 1978, Udinese with Teofilio Sanson. And in Spain, Real Madrid in 1982 with Zanussi. What first is this the list of? Your answer is T-shirt sponsorships. That is indeed correct, Ramesh. Absolutely well done. It is indeed T-shirt sponsorship. So that's 10 points there to Ramesh. Right, that brings us to the end of our 4 rounds of quizzing. Was there a last minute twist in the tail at the top of the table, or did we have the leaders towards the last couple of questions stay ahead and do what winners do best? That is just stay ahead. We'll find out on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to a final look at the scoreboard here at Chennai Regional Final. And then in third place on the podium is Ramesh Natarajan, who was, second runner-up last year from the Chennai Regional Final. Second runner-up yet again from the Chennai Regional Final is Ramesh Natarajan, who gave that final answer, but it wasn't enough to give him a chance to be at the top. But in second place is our first runner-up at the national final last year. Unfortunately for him, is first runner-up at the regional final itself. So this is where the journey ends for Jayakanthan from TCS with a score of 39. But sensational performance there, absolutely sensational. Clearly a strong signal to the other regional final participants there by our winner for today. And that is Preetham Upadhya with a score of 53 points. If winning the BusinessLine Cerebration 2022 means business, Preetham Upadhya has definitely turned the screw. He is our winner from the Chennai Regional Final. So congratulations to him. We will get to see more of him in the BusinessLine Celebration Corporate Quiz 2022 in Mumbai in the national final. But very well done to the rest of you. Hope all of you had a lot of fun. I certainly did bringing this quiz to you. Thank you to all our sponsors, our title sponsor, Union Bank of India, powered by Manage Engine, Writing Instruments partner, Parker Pen by Luxor Group, and associate sponsor, Gray On. Thank you to each one of you for placing your faith in us. On behalf of the team at BusinessLine Celebration 2022, it's a wrap. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye for now. I will see you in our next regional final. Bye-bye.